follow these pursuits, and the suspect will head back to an area within before. Whether that's an area that they're just familiar with or they live, it's hard to say. We never
All right.
are able
what
to
a different world.
Exactly the thought process. But now we're at the 14 split.
What a different world it is with a OBS that's actually responding.
It'll be interesting to see what CHP does.
All right.
Trying to put a patrol car.
Welcome back, everybody. We have ourselves a police chase, which is occurring up on the 14 freeway. Got myself on the 14 recently. Some traffic up there, but this should be working now. I'm trying to figure out what's up, everyone? Welcome back. It is another two-wheeled Charger. This one's a lot quicker than the one last night. This is a police chase replay, as you can tell. I believe it says it. Yep, I believe it says it correctly in the title. Should be working. Yeah, it looks pretty smooth. Okay, so it is a little staggery, which is unfortunate, but while it's working, it does work well. I deleted a whole bunch of RAM space, and I think the computer was just overheating before, because I leave it out. My window faces east, and it was the morning. Whoa! There's CHP. Look at that bird. You can see the CHP tattoo on that thing, on the tail right there, blue and white bird in the air. Look at that thing. All right, welcome back. 14 northbound. I think it's working well enough that we can. Boogity. Let's go chasing everybody. Back on the 14 freeway. Two-wheel Dodge Charger.
Now all of a sudden he's really slowed down. Traveling basically.
Indeed, headed to Palmdale. Very good.
Flow of traffic at that speed. But it's been very interesting to watch the demeanor. At one point in time, it almost looks like he's trying to slow down and look back to see if
he's being chased.
Vehicles behind him. But we've seen.
Oh, so that's not me that's glitching. That is the YouTube video.
We'll have to see exactly what happens here.
Very good.
It looks like we're taking another off-ramp.
Two back-to-back.
14 freeway onto Escondido.
Yeah, you know what? I just took the 14 as a shortcut to get to Vegas, and boy, did it. It truly was a shortcut.
If he makes a left, we'll be headed back towards the Agua Dulce area. And it looks like a left turn it's going to be. And then, of course, there's an opportunity.
Just a two-star chase. I don't see many. There's a CHP bird above. CHP above him, but not seeing any ground units. So we're going to be two-star here for a little bit.
There's a little more volume headed southbound this time of the morning. But I don't see any stop traffic until you get all the way down into the Canyon Country area. And, again, I think we're going to see excessive speeds. And it wouldn't surprise me if he turned around on the 14.
Stop asking if it's live in the chat. Nothing pisses me off more. Just don't do it. Figure it out. It is so easy. Look at the screen. That is like Road Rash. Anyone in here old enough to play Road Rash back in the day? One of the best games ever.
We don't know of any incidences yet. We don't know that there is an accident that has been caused by this individual's driving. We only know he's wanted for excessive speed.
That game was hard,
we'll
too.
Continue to follow along here. Once again, we're on the 14 southbound. We're headed back down into Canyon Country, leaving the Agua Dulce area. And the speeds right now, all of a sudden you see the acceleration. It's been
what type of speed are we doing
quite
here?
Remarkable to watch. You know, all of a sudden you'll see him down at 70, and within seconds you'll see him well above 100, 120, 130.
That Dodge Charger's got some pick-me-up.
Time extremely excessive. And there was a time when patrol cars were behind him. CHP had the suspect on the 14 South, I believe, in almost the
107.
And they basically just couldn't keep.
I don't know if that's northbound, southbound 14. But Antelope Valley, he's going southbound now. CHP, airship overhead.
Especially the helicopter can cut the motorcycle off. Sometimes when a motorcycle can do 150 is on a straight road like the 10 freeway out of LA, our helicopters can't keep up. Our speeds are really around 125, 130, maybe 140 miles an hour.
Damn, those choppers fly. You hear that?
The wind, if we're into the wind, our ground speed may be less. A motorcycle that can get up to 150, 160, and some of these can. Some of these large displacement motorcycles, they pull away from us. But when you're on a windy stretch of roadway like this, you can
in shortcut, you can cut the corners.
The individual off, so no matter what speed.
And he is side drafting, getting off the freeway here.
Overhead and keep them in sight. I think we're getting off, or getting back. Now we're getting onto Agua Dulce Canyon Road.
They do fly.
And going back northbound. So we've been all over the place. We see him looking around, fidgeting a little bit, possibly looking to see if there's any patrol cars behind him. But more than likely, this is not going to end well for the motorcyclist. They're going to continue to track him until they can finally get him. Excuse me? And it does look like the patrol cars have picked him up. So
okay.
He does say,
we're going to engage potentially with some units here. Still a two-star chase for the moment, but dangerous as always because these things are fast as all hell.
Next to some of these homes that we may come up on here in a moment.
Late Night Nick asks, where is this in relation to LA? The 14 freeway, I'd say, is about hour and a half northeast of the metropolis.
And this has been going on long enough for most
in the desert, Sons of Anarchy territory. On my way back from Vegas, I saw a motorcycle gang. What's up, everyone? W's. Who dropped some ETM? Wow. ETM 117 just gave out 10 Tier 1 subs to the chat. More W's in the chat for ETM. ETM 117, we appreciate you as always. You guys subscribe to the channel. We keep doing the shows. Pretty simple. And it's nice to have a stream that actually works. Again, I really don't know what I did other than deleting videos that have high gigabytes. That shouldn't affect OBS at all, especially on a MacBook Pro. I think it was just that the computer was in the sun all morning. It is a motorcycle club. What do you think MC stands for?
And this could go on for some time. It certainly could last a long time because they're extremely difficult to stop. When you have a motorcycle motorcycles like this, and you're not going to use the spike strip.
100 miles an hour here on Davenport Road. We are in Antelope Valley. Sanath, do you have a MacBook Pro? Do you have a MacBook Pro? Do you a Mac at all, or are you talking about Windows? Because the computer before was really hot, but it's hard to believe that's the reason.
All right, but they just backed off. They're not pressing. Okay. Copy, thanks. I believe this runs into Sierra Highway up here, if I'm not mistaken. So if you just joined us, we've had
an update from Scott Rife here.
Now, probably it started maybe 35, 40 minutes ago. We've been on it maybe for the last 20 to 25 after we picked it up. We believe it started on the 14 freeway southbound. It speeds up to 120 miles an hour with CHP.
Yeah, I've never had it. I've never had it that slow before. I guess deleting memory space, deleting some storage, and cooling off the computer helped a little bit. Strange. I updated OBS too. That's usually what it takes for me to update OBS. It has to be just a complete meltdown. I just refuse to because every update there's always something that's broken.
This intersection coming up here, I'm not certain exactly what it is, but Davenport Road, and we're coming up on a street that will put him back down.
Shout out to Bobo Jr., 18 months and counting. Much appreciated, my friend. Thank you.
And that could put him back into the Canyon Country.
Still going along here in Canyon Country. Sierra Highway, Palmdale, Lancaster.
It looks like he makes a left turn and be headed down.
Oh, you know what? It's also a problem. I've got ants. Came back to the apartment. I've never had bugs in this apartment before. I had a line of ants. I'm like, where the hell did they come from? And I just got trapped, so I'm not killing them anymore. I'm hoping they take the bait, take it back to... Man, it sucks to have bugs. From zero bug. I've lived here for 3 years and I haven't had a bug. And then ants appear. And you know what the biggest problem was? I washed away all the spider webs outside my window because they were really ugly to look at and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I washed them all away. And as soon as I get rid of the spiders, the ants show up. It was like the spiders were protecting the apartment. They're like itty bitty ants too. Not even real ants. They're like minuscule.
Not too congested today. Lots of times you see a lot more. We're in summer, school's out. You see a little bit. Boy, look at this, pretty close.
Oh, jeez! Oh!
It wasn't that close, but when you see
that was close. That was a lot closer than Scoff made it sound. riding the double yellow line there, split. He's got to be doing near 100. He's doing 105 miles an hour.
That's pretty frightening. But there's not a lot
And he
of
just split both sides of the road there when there was concurrent cars going by each other. Now it's crapping out on me again.
Routes for the motorcyclists to take different off-ramps and head in different directions. And we're headed down into an area where there'll be a lot more patrol cars, a lot more units surveilling in this area. The Sheriff's Department, CHP, is basically has the pursuit at this point in time. They're running point on this, if you will. They may hand it off as we get a little bit further south to the Sheriff's Department. It's hard to say. But you can tell now, as you open up a little bit, Marcel, just give you a little perspective on where we're at. So we're on Sierra Highway southbound. We're headed down into Canyon Country. And we go a little further south, we get really right down into the heart of Canyon Country and that Santa Clarita area. We were down here once before, back and forth towards Bokeh Canyon on Soledad Canyon Road, heading towards Valencia, then turning around. So it's familiar territory, if you will, for the suspect. They're sort of swerving around a vehicle into...
Oh, a truck! Oh my God!
And certainly we've seen him...
I mean, he can see the truck coming, we can't. And it just appears in the right lane, lane number 1 out of nowhere.
And I'll tell you when our speeds are accurate, but he's probably doing about 89 miles per hour, would be my guess, considering the flow of traffic and where he's at. But we have
keeps looking behind him.
Legitimately above 120 on the freeway and on Soledad Canyon Road at a time.
Antelope Valley up by the 15 freeway. They're just off the 14 up in Canyon Country.
Not only for the suspect's safety, but you could easily harm or kill somebody.
Blaze Trail says the landscape diversity of LA County never stops amazing me. This is a city that has desert, mountains, beach, palm trees. It has every single thing you can think of, all in the same city, just depending on what part of it you're in. That's how big it is.
And people get hurt. So we'll get SkyMap back on. We just took a turn off of Sierra Highway, and we're headed back. We're headed up into a residential community. Some track homes. You'll see those pop up here in just a moment. Single lane street. We'll see if we can get our SkyMap to come back up so I can give you the Stratus Street. We're in Newhall now. And through that yield, which really isn't a big deal, following that vehicle. And if we open up a little bit, Marcel, just give the folks an idea where we're at. There's a large, a lot of construction going on here, a lot of new housing. There's a school there, the school's out, so actually it's a park, I believe. And you see the speeds have slowed just a little compared to what we saw earlier, but certainly we're headed into a residential area, and that complicates things as well. Were you talking to me, JJ? I'm hearing that it's the Skyline Ranch community in Newhall. That's the area, if you're familiar with this area that he's traveling through. And basically right now he's headed almost due west towards an area that we had been before. There's a lot of homes in this area. Kids are out. It's that time of the morning, right? A little early. But you can see that it could really...
I'm going to try and change the...
You just waved to that guy?
I don't think it's going to let me change the bit rate during the stream.
Oh, so
yeah.
Marcel told
me
I
can't actually.
Motorcycle etiquette that the guy tapped his helmet to let the guy behind him, that motorcyclist, know that there were patrol cars coming up behind him.
Oh, that's interesting.
Giving him a clue.
Okay, I tried to change the bit rate.
So
he taps the helmet, knowing that, letting him know that there's cop cars coming. I didn't know that was motorcycle language.
I don't see a procedure, a strategy to try and move in and stop.
Okay, I changed the bit rate. It's a little bit better.
We're just going to follow along and really hope that nobody gets hurt. Hope that he gets off the bike and makes a run for it. More than likely, it's registered to the...
I didn't know that. So motorcyclists, they talk to each other by hitting the top of their helmet. That lets them know that there's cops coming.
I mean, that's pure speculation, though. It doesn't mean that for certain, but in a lot of cases, that's what we see. If they did run it and it came back stolen, they may be thinking it's somebody different than the registered owner on the bike. But certainly they may presume that at this point in time, but they don't know for certain. And you see him, looking back, trying to see if there are patrol cars behind him. CHP helicopter is a little tricky. In some, they're being tricky. In some pursuits, they'll get right down on the ground and get right up to the guy.
Like how cars flash their beamers.
Far enough, I don't know if we'll see him in the shot, so that the motorcyclists really can't see him. So the motorcyclists...
Wow, they're all the way up in the Newhall Pass.
if he's being followed. And certainly we're high enough and far enough away that he can't see us. And then, of course, when you have a helmet on, your vision is really restricted as far as, seeing up and to the side. So there's a really good chance now that he's really slowed here on Plum Canyon Road in the Saugus area, that he does not know if the police are behind him. Maybe he thinks they're not behind him any longer. We're on Bokeh Canyon Road, and this is a place that we were, I would say, about 30 minutes ago in this exact same spot. And now we see some acceleration once again up to some pretty high speeds. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. Once again, we really hope that nobody gets hurt.
I don't know how to fix the lag, people. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to change the bit rate.
Tyler, did you see the helicopter out your window? CHP is still behind him? Boy, he's a long way away. Interesting. He obviously doesn't want that guy to see him. So there we go. We're seeing some, some pretty abrupt maneuvers by the motorcycle in and out of traffic here. We're seeing speeds have slowed a bit, waving to someone there. I'm sure it's another motorcyclist on the side there trying to let them know that the police are behind them. The speeds are still, pretty excessive, 70, 80 miles an hour in an area where more than likely
I'm changing the settings every couple seconds just to see if anything works.
We're seeing them swerve.
This one looks a little better
through and around
for now.
Traffic. It'll be interesting to see if this continues on until the bike.
It's nothing to do with the internet speed. Stop.
Consume a lot of fuel, but they don't hold a lot of fuel. Usually 4 to 5 gallons, but they get quite a few miles per gallon. Unless you're driving like this, then of course, depending on the displacement of the motorcycle, the bigger displacement motorcycles really suck up quite a bit more fuel. But I kind of have a feeling that CHP is just content to follow with the helicopter. The helicopter is
keeps looking behind him so much.
They're staying far enough away so that the motorcyclists really can't tell if they're there or not. Now we see some slowing here and turning into a gas station. And boy, it'll be interesting to see if he tries to get gas.
We're just getting gas. Again.
If he tries to get gas, it'll be interesting to see if CHP
how big are those tanks in those two-wheel Dodge Chargers?
So that's got to be the strategy right now.
Chase gas station in the way.
When you don't have a patrol car right behind him,
he's got to know that there's choppers above him.
With actually pulling into a gas station, getting fuel real quick, and then continuing on in the pursuit. Now the helicopter's telling the units to get here as quickly as possible. They'd like to stop him.
He's trying to go for it.
He can just get 3 or 4 gallons of fuel. He could be on his way once again, and this pursuit could continue.
He's going for it. He keeps looking behind him.
Indication if he starts to pump some gas that he needs fuel, but he may have just been hiding. It may have just been a technique to look to see if there's any patrol cars behind him, and that looks like
we're off.
What it was, or he needs
interesting.
Fuel. He felt like he didn't have time. And the police were right behind him, or he didn't have enough time to really stop down and get fuel. So it's kind of hard to tell for sure. We're on Cinco Canyon Road. We're in Saugus. He's slowed a bit, and again, the helicopter is still overhead. So it's hard to say exactly what that stop was at the gas station.
And there's no way he actually put gas in there.
Running through a red light there, and I don't believe any patrol cars are still right behind him, so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on these ants. I'm taking Windex and I'm creating a perimeter around the trap so they can't leave.
Is there a way to kill Leslie? Because I hear her. It's a little distracting. It's not the end of the world, but
I create an electric fence of Windex so that the only place they can walk is into the traps.
Thank you. Yeah, not literally. That would appear by what we saw right there, he probably sees us. It looks like he turned his head.
What did Leslie do? It was probably feedback in the earpiece.
Whether we were at this distance, whether we were a law enforcement helicopter.
No, kill Leslie, meaning kill the feed. Don't kill the audio. Don't actually kill her.
Excessive rates of speed that we saw.
Rest in peace,
30,
Leslie.
40 minutes ago, with him doing well over 100 miles an hour on surface streets on Soledad Canyon Road, and then above 120 miles an hour on the freeway. Right now, it looks like he's just trying to figure out whether or not the police are right behind him, whether patrol cars are going to be there, whether he can maybe make a run for it. But if they're going to continue to follow along, he's going to be...
Oh, these motherfuckers are taking the bait. They're in the trap.
We're headed towards an area now where
I see you.
A suspect could maybe make a run for it, get off the bike.
I got 6 traps laid out at my feet up against the windowsill, and they're in one of them right now. They're taking the bait. Take that shit back.
Everything, because there's no place to go up there. Obviously, there's a much better chance that you could actually get off the bike and make a run for it. There are no patrol cars behind him. We really saw that indication because when he did pull into the gas station, it looked like he really wasn't thinking about getting gas, or if he was.
You know what it also is? Because, like, look at my... I'm perfectly...
But there were no patrol cars that pulled in right behind him.
I'm not lagging. It's the screen record. So I think I need to change the window capture. There's ground units.
The right decision, and he's going to give himself up. So it was quite the pursuit.
That's it.
Ongoing for, I think, about
as soon as the ground unit showed up, the lights got bright,
extremely high rates of speed,
and that was it.
You can tell the motorcyclist is now getting off his bike. He's obeying the commands of the officers to lay face down. They should move in and take him into custody.
Wow, and he went straight to the pavement. Very smart to get half your body in the shade so that you're not laying down in the sun, because Lord knows how hot it is up there up in the canyons. Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid got bark-offed.
He might not have a weapon. They also have a canine there now, just in case he
Doge?
tries to make a run.
Doge! Big Doge! Oh my God! Big Doge! Look at that Doge! Right next to the passenger side of unit number 490.
They don't comply, but CHP officers more than likely going to slowly move in, guns drawn, already have his hands behind his back. They'll cut them very quickly, and this is all over here in
Code 4.
So it was quite the pursuit. Went on for some time, but now the suspect is in custody, and as far as we know, no one's been hurt. So as far as that's concerned, good news.
That's right, ants. Oh, there's like 50 of them down there now. They must have told their friends that there's good eats. Okay, people, we are code 4 here. We are code 4 on this chase. 2-star chase coming to a close. As soon as the lights got bright, he surrendered. Before you guys go, I'm actually going to try and... to prevent the lag, I'm going to change it from a window capture to a display capture and see if that fixes anything. Let's see. Display capture. I feel like I should do this offline. Yeah, I'll try this. I'll just shutter the stream and try and figure it out so we can get our stream back to looking not laggy. Now, we were born in the lag. Remember the original days of Periscope, how laggy it was for years? It's nothing new. But now that technology has evolved, people aren't as willing to accept it. But Ant Cam, I can't give you Ant Cam, but they're in the trap for sure. And I'm going to keep spraying Windex around the trap so that they can't leave the trap area. Because they can't go through. It's like lava. I don't have any raid. And the exterminator comes on Thursday. So I'm cutting them off to the rest of the apartment. They can only go to the traps. And that seems to be working quite well. Okay. On that note, that was today's chase. Haven't had a good one in a while, right? It's been a while. But I can't make every single one Treroy Jenkins. I can't make every single one the Great Tunnel Chase, the Great Compton Chase. All these named chases. Told you, you don't know how good something is until it's gone. And it has been a while since we've had a name-worthy chase. But most of them end up like this. They just drive along and they pull over and they surrender, and that's it. It's 2-star chase. You occasionally have a 5-star. What was her name? Beth Amphetamine was probably the craziest chase of the year on the 405, but that was at 4 o'clock in the morning. Beth Amphetamine. That chase was crazy. But other than that, it's been a minute. Okay, so I'm going to stop the stream because I have to go prepare for SiriusXM in 30 minutes. We're going to do a draft preview show. I am going to be flying across the country tomorrow, so I will not be around unless there's a chase super late at night or in the morning. So no chases tomorrow, I'm afraid. But thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel today. And I will continue to bring you Police Chase Live, Burdens in the Air,